Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East, Volume 5, Chapter 11, entitled Men Who Walk with the Master, with a specific excerpt about Luther Burbank. I think many of you have planted seeds or set out plants and loved them and watched them grow. Plants will respond very readily. Luther Burbank never sent out a plant from his garden unless it responded to his voice. George Washington Carver did the same thing. I worked with George Washington Carver, and I knew Luther Burbank from the time he was 6 years old. Luther Burbank always said, and it disturbed his mother and father very much because they did not understand it, that Jesus worked with him all the time. One Sunday afternoon, he walked with his father over to visit a neighbor. They took a shortcut through the fields and passed through a potato patch. As children will do, little Luther Burbank ran ahead. It was at that time when the potato blooms were ripening. One stem was standing up a little higher than all the others, and Luther stopped to look at it. And his father said, when he came up, that the flower was waving back and forth. And the boy said to him, "Papa, that's talking to me." "Well," the father told my father, "I thought the boy was going wrong, and I hurried him on and went over to the neighbor's." All the time they were there, Luther was anxious to return, and finally, about 3:30, they started homeward. They returned through the same potato field, the boy rushing ahead and going directly to the same plant. There was a great calm over the field. Not a leaf moved. When the father came up to where the boy was standing, that tall seed pod was moving again, back and forth, and Luther said, "Papa, I want to stay here. Jesus is talking to me and telling me what to do." His father took him home and made him to do his chores and sent him to bed. In a short time he found him stealing downstairs, trying to get out of the house. He was sent back to bed 3 different times that night. By that time it was 11 o'clock, and the parents thought the boy was asleep for the night. The next morning, Luther was missing. The father walked out into the field, and there he found the boy wrapped around that potato hill, just as close as he could get to it, sound asleep. When he awakened, he said, "Papa, Jesus talked with me all night long, and he told me that if I would watch that little bulb until it ripened, take it and preserve it and plant the seed next spring, that when it developed, there would be one potato there that would make me famous." And that is just what happened. Luther Burbank also worked with the cactus. He took the prickly pear and put it into a glass cage where it would be protected. For 5.5 months he sat before the case 1 hour each day and talked to that prickly pear, something like this: "Now you are protected. You don't need those spikes. Let them go." In 7.5 months, the spikes had dropped off. He had the spikeless cactus. Luther Burbank used to say, "Why, I walk and talk with Jesus, and he with me. He teaches me. He tells me what to do.